The story begins with Ian and his dad Vicente. Vicente enters a store and discreetly hides some wine bottles in his jacket while Ian watches him from outside. Suddenly the color of Ian's eyes changes as if he possesses some kind of power. Vicente only buys a bubble gum at the counter, and the lady doesn't even notice the wine bottles hidden in his jacket as he easily walks out. It is revealed that Ian has used his powers to manipulate the lady's mind, making her completely unaware of the theft that occurred in the shop. Vicente instructs Ian to continue messing up with the lady's mind for a while until he brings the car from the parking lot. Just then a group of girls walks past Ian, with one of them calling him a freak, breaking Ian's focus on the lady's mind. This interruption causes the lady to discern that a theft has occurred in her store. She rushes outside just as Vicente arrives with the car and confronts him with a hammer, insisting he step out of the car. Ian instructs her to drop the hammer, but she starts advancing towards him. In response, Ian attempts to intimidate her by pulling out his gun, but she continues to approach, prompting Ian to shoot her. Ian and his dad quickly flee the scene in a car. However, in reality it was just an illusion created by Ian and the lady's mind, making her believe that she was shot and that Ian had a gun. Meanwhile, the police arrive at the scene and find the lady lying on the ground and assures her that she isn't shot. Then the police start tailing Vicente's truck, but Ian creates illusions in their minds, leading the police to pursue them in the wrong direction. Ian questions his father about how long they will continue with these small thefts, suggesting they should target a bank using illusions, making the bank believe they've deposited a large check and then withdrawing cash. However, his dad advises against it, stating that banks are the major league and scamming them would bring too much attention, leading to easy detection and potential arrest. He also warns that the government could find out about Ian's supernatural ability, possibly subjecting him to experiments in a lab. As one police officer again closes in on Vicente's car, Ian creates an illusion in his mind, making him experience a deadly hailstorm, causing his car to crash. But in reality nothing of the sort happens, and the two events are later observed by a mysterious lady on CCTV. Ian and Vicente live in seclusion on an abandoned ship to keep Ian's abilities a secret from the world. However, this seclusion leads to loneliness for Ian, who isn't even allowed to go out without his dad's permission. Often Ian has dreams of his deceased mother while sleeping, reminiscing about the time when he was just 5 years old, playing with her. The following day upon waking up, Vicente surprises Ian with a cake as it happens to be Ian's birthday today. Ian expresses his thoughts about getting a part-time job to keep himself busy, but his dad discourages him, fearing that it might reveal Ian's abilities to others. He shares the pain of having already lost Ian's mother and expresses that he doesn't want to lose him too. He asks his dad to at least let him go to the arcade to play games as a birthday present, but his dad forbids him from going there as well. Ian vents his frustration on a wooden dummy and eventually sneaks out of his room to hit the arcade. Meanwhile, the cop sitting at the bar recounts to the bartender how he had recently been tailing a father and son, only to suddenly get caught up in a deadly car crash caused by a hailstorm. Another mysterious individual in the bar overhears the officer's conversation and uses his supernatural powers to make him fall unconscious. In reality, individuals possessing such supernatural abilities are known as perceivers. Meanwhile, government agents successfully track Ian and Vicente's settlement and enter the ship. Leading this team is Adriana, who confronts Vicente at gunpoint, demanding him about Ian's whereabouts. However, Vicente remains tight-lipped, prompting Adriana's team to resort to physical force. During this confrontation, Adriana receives information about Ian's location from her other agents, who discover he is at the arcade. The perceiver is also present at the arcade, actively searching for Ian, while Adriana's two agents are also on the lookout for him. The perceiver becomes aware of their presence and silently eliminates one of the agents. He then uses his walkie-talkie to inform Adriana that there is a perceiver present in the area, prompting her to immediately order her agents to eliminate the perceiver to prevent him from reaching Ian. Another agent spots the perceiver and opens fire, but it turns out to be a mere illusion and the real perceiver is behind him and eliminates him. Ian witnesses this entire event while hiding behind a table, realizing that he is not the only one with extraordinary abilities. The perceiver attempts to control Ian's mind, but Adriana's agents come from behind and puts an iron mask on the perceiver's head to prevent him from using his powers. Despite the odds, the perceiver continues to fight against Adriana's men with his formidable combat skills, while the other agents take Ian to Adriana's car to transport him to the lab. However, the perceiver swiftly eliminates all the agents and steps onto the road, creating an illusion of a truck crashing on the road to stop Adriana from taking Ian. But Adriana orders the driver to keep going, assuring him that it's merely an illusion, and the driver passes through the crashed truck. In the lab, Adriana reveals to Ian that they are fighting against an organization called Awareness, which consists of individuals with supernatural abilities like Ian's. They control the world by manipulating the minds of politicians, rendering democracy as nothing more than an illusion. Adriana explains that they have been gradually capturing and eliminating each perceiver, and the man Ian encountered is the last surviving perceiver. Adriana informs him that the perceiver wants Ian to join him, and if Ian declines his offer, he will kill him. That's why Adriana urges Ian to cooperate with them, allowing them to extract the formula from his body, which can neutralize the powers of perceivers. However, before proceeding with their plan, Adriana asks Ian about his powers. Ian confidently flaunts that he can create illusions in other people's minds. Adriana instructs him to demonstrate it by creating an illusion of a sunny day on the beach in her mind, where she stands enjoying a mojito. Ian, however, expresses his inability to create such a spectacular scene and insists that he first wants to meet his dad. Adriana assures him that once he demonstrates his abilities, he can finally meet his dad. She suggests to Ian that the stronger his emotion, the stronger his power will become. To trigger Ian, Adriana shows him a photo of his mother and speaks ill of her. This tactic angers Ian, triggering his emotions, and he creates the illusion exactly as Adriana had suggested, with an added detail of a housefly annoying her. After that, Ian stops the illusion, and Adriana leads him to his dad, where Vicente warns him not to trust these people, as they only want to experiment on him like a lab rat. Ian learns that Adriana and his dad already know each other, and he inquires about their history. Adriana reveals that if Ian can try, he can also look into other people's memories and encourages Ian to use this ability to find the truth in Vicente's mind. Vicente refuses Ian from going into his mind, but despite this, Ian enters Vicente's memory. There he discovers that Vicente used to work for the same agency. One day when the emergency alarm went off, Vicente picked up little Ian and started escaping. Adriana and a guard tried to stop him, but Vicente fought back and successfully escaped. Ian then exits Vicente's mind, and Vicente falls unconscious. Ian is shocked to realize that Vicente is not his real father, and Adriana adds to the revelation, telling Ian that his mother might still be alive. Following that, Adriana shows Ian's blood report to her senior, stating that Ian inherited these abilities from his parents. Perceivers, however, cannot have children, making Ian the first naturally born perceiver ever. The senior instructs Adriana to extract a formula from Ian's body through which they can make more perceivers, and then she is to eliminate Ian. Adriana, however, suggests that they can awaken the third power within Ian, enabling him to combat Mule, the most powerful perceiver. After some time, Esther walks into Ian's room and tells him that the agency is just using him like a lab rat to extract the formula from his body. She reveals that she works for awareness and Ian is not safe with these people, offering him to escape with her. Ian believes in her and starts escaping with Esther, who easily knocks out all the guards in the way with her extraordinary combat skills, leaving Ian amazed. However, before making their getaway, Ian insists on bringing his dad along, as he still hasn't received answers to all his questions. After taking his dad, the trio manages to escape from the agency in a car. Meanwhile, a scientist from the agency enters the control room and kills everyone with a gun. It turns out that he is not a scientist but a perceiver who had just created the illusion of being a scientist in their minds. While driving, Ian's car slips off the road due to a flat tire. The perceiver also arrives there following Ian's car's tire marks, but Ian manipulates the perceiver's mind, making himself invisible. The trio then stops at a motel, where Ian shares with Esther the pain of discovering that the man he thought was his dad is not his real father. He expresses how since childhood, he believed he was the one creating illusions for others, but it turns out the world was creating illusions for him. Esther offers sympathy to him, but before they can share a kiss, an unnecessary song interrupts their moment. Afterward, Ian and Esther return to their room, where Ian discovers that Vicente is still asleep due to the effects of alcohol. Since Ian seeks answers to his questions, he enters Vicente's mind again, where he sees a file of a scientist in Adriana's hand named Kaminsky, residing in Poland. Ian then witnesses Adriana approaching a van and instructing the driver that Kaminsky wants the patient to receive the second dose tonight. A hooded passenger with severed fingers sits beside the driver, a sight so horrifying that Ian is forced out of Vicente's memory. Following this, Ian goes to a bank as he is short on funds. Using a rough paper, he creates an illusion in the receptionist's mind, making her believe that it's a €5,000 check and withdraws the cash. Before the receptionist can realize the truth, Ian has already escaped with Esther and the money. Esther experiences an adrenaline rush from the thrilling activity and joyfully tosses the money in the air. Afterward, Esther goes to take a shower, and Ian notices that the perceiver has followed them to the motel. When the perceiver enters the room, Ian creates an illusion of an abandoned house in his mind. However, the illusion is exposed when the perceiver slides a curtain from a mirror, as mind projections do not work on mirrors. A fight ensues between Ian and the perceiver. In the midst of the struggle, the perceiver successfully infiltrates Ian's mind, delving into his memories. He discovers that Ian is preparing to go to Poland to uncover the truth and find Kaminsky. Following this revelation, the perceiver exits Ian's mind, leaving him unconscious. Ian once again experiences the recurring dream of his mother. However, his dad abruptly wakes him up, scolding him for robbing a bank, as news of the theft has spread throughout the city. Ian remains unfazed by his dad's words, accusing him of lying all his life, leading to a heated argument between them. Ian no longer considers Vicente as his real father and starts addressing him by his name, which deeply shatters Vicente's heart. Vicente presents Ian with two options. The first is for Ian to make his own choices and carve his own path, and the second is to start fresh with his dad and live together peacefully just like before. Ian finds the decision easy and opts for the first option, leaving his dad behind. Following that, Ian and Esther head to Poland, but Adriana tracks them down using the serial number on the note Ian used to buy the train ticket. Upon arriving in Poland, Ian and Esther set out for Kaminsky's lab using the address Ian had extracted from Vicent's memory. However, Adriana's agents armed with snipers were already waiting for Ian, but the perceiver arrives before Ian and eliminates all the agents. Once inside the lab, Ian stumbles upon a room he often sees in his dreams, but it seems smaller than he imagined. Soon he discovers a hidden passage behind a wall, leading to another room filled with documents and files. Ian discovers a file named Project Awareness, featuring a picture of his mother, Ursula. After reading the file, Ian learns that Kaminsky is not merely a scientist but Ian's own grandpa, who conducted experiments on his own daughter Ursula. Meanwhile, Vicent, drowned in sorrow over Ian's departure, continues to drink heavily. Adriana approaches him and advises him to stop drinking and become a responsible father. She underscores that Ian is now alone, making it easy for the perceiver to manipulate him. Adriana stresses that Ian stands as the agency's final hope in the battle against the mule. However, Vicent insists that Adriana leave Ian alone. On the flip side, when Ian steps out from the room, he finds Esther standing alongside the perceiver. Esther tells Ian that he can ask any questions he has in his mind to the perceiver. But Ian pays no heed to Esther and points a gun at the perceiver. However, it turns out to be a mere illusion created by Ian, and Esther subtly hints to the perceiver about Ian's real location. The perceiver now takes Ian at gunpoint and calmly reveals that he is Ian's real biological father, which leaves Ian dumbfounded. He explains that perceivers are the result of a scientific experiment conducted in the 1950s, around World War II, and Ian's mom and dad were also part of the program. Kaminsky injected a chemical compound into all the volunteers, granting them extrasensory abilities to be utilized as spies and also to manipulate the minds of enemies. However, when World War II ended, the government became concerned that perceivers might form alliances with enemies, which is detrimental to the nation. Therefore, the government initiated a mission called disinfection to eliminate each perceiver one by one. All hope seemed lost for perceivers until the mule appeared. The mule was the most powerful perceiver who had activated his third power, allowing him not only to create illusions but also to control the actions of others. He united all the surviving perceivers, forming a group called the Awareness, and provided them with training on how to evade government surveillance. He explains to Ian that perceivers couldn't have children naturally, but one day miraculously, his mother became pregnant, and Ian became the first natural perceiver born from this unexpected pregnancy. He also reveals Ian's mother is still alive and provides Ian with her address in Spain. Suddenly, Adriana's soldiers arrives at the lab, and the perceiver instructs Ian and Esther to escape. He engages in a lone battle against them but is soon subdued when two soldiers place iron masks on his head, neutralizing his powers. They escort him to the government agency where a robot tries to extract the formula from his body through injection. However, the formula in the perceiver's body has become so diluted that it is impossible to synthesize. Adriana informs her senior about this, stating that Ian is now their only hope. Meanwhile, the perceiver expresses his thirst and demands water. The robot controller drills a hole in the perceiver's mask, allowing him to drink water through a straw. However, the hole inadvertently grants the perceiver the ability to use his powers. He takes control over the controller and eliminates all the scientists present in the room, freeing himself. On the other side, Ian arrives at his mother's house in Spain only to find her completely paralyzed. As Ian sits beside his mother, the perceiver also arrives. He tells Ian that a part of his mother's brain is still alive, and Ian can meet her by entering her mind. Ian delves into his mother's memories and witnesses that agency personnel were torturing her, causing her significant pain. The perceiver also appears and reveals to Ian that, after his birth, his mother destroyed Kaminsky's formula for creating more perceivers and encrypted it in Ian's mind. This was the exact reason why the agency was torturing her. The agency had inserted a fake happy memory into Ian's mind to mislead him and make him believe that his mother was alright. Ian then notices the younger version of himself playing with compound blocks representing the same formula. When the perceiver attempts to approach and see the formula, an invisible barrier created by Ian's mother hinders him. The perceiver relentlessly tries to break the wall but it proves futile. Eventually, Ian's mother succumbs to death, and both Ian and the perceiver exit her mind. Just then, Adriana's army arrives and storms into the house. Ian, fueled by fury over his mother's condition, activates his third power and effortlessly eliminates all the soldiers without even needing to touch them. However, more soldiers gather outside the house led by Adriana. Undeterred, Ian uses his powers to hold everyone at gunpoint while the perceiver encourages him to make them pull the trigger. However, Vicent arrives just in time and urges Ian to let everyone go, warning him that he will regret his decision later. Nevertheless, the perceiver slides the gun towards Ian and encourages him to eliminate Vicent as well. Ian hesitates and asks Vicent to leave, but Vicent tries to explain how the perceiver is manipulating him before the perceiver makes Vicent grab the gun and shoot himself. This devastates Ian, causing him to lose control over Adriana and the soldiers, and he tearfully runs to Vicent. In his final moments, Vicent urges Ian to delve into his memories and discover the whole truth. Jan enters into Vicent's memories and uncovers that while Vicent was working in the agency, Jan's mother sensed his inherent goodness, and pleaded with him to take Jan away, ensuring the agency couldn't harm him. Touched by compassion for Jan's mom, Vicent decided to escape with Jan, taking on the responsibility of raising and caring for him. Upon learning the complete truth, Jan becomes furious with the perceiver and runs after him. He locates the perceiver at a party, holding Esther hostage. Both Jan and the perceiver start using their third powers to overpower each other. However, since Jan was a newbie and using the third power, the perceiver begins to overpower him by making the partygoers attack him. However, Adriana arrives just in time, shooting the partygoers and saving Jan. Jan repeatedly instructs the perceiver to let Esther go, but the perceiver demands Jan to show him the formula in his mind, promising to release her if he complies. Adriana interjects, stating that she doesn't see any girl, and whoever the perceiver has made a hostage is just a loop implanted in Jan's mind. Jan hesitantly pulls the trigger, and the bullet goes through Esther's projection, killing the perceiver. Esther runs to Jan and hugs him. Following Vicent's funeral, Adriana approaches Jan, expressing the need for the formula in his mind for national security. However, Jan refuses to provide the formula, choosing to drive away in his car with his illusory girlfriend. Adriana discusses the situation with her senior, but as Jan glances into his car's mirror, he realizes that there is no one standing with Adriana, and her senior is also an illusory loop in her mind. Jan smiles mysteriously, and with this scene the movie comes to an end. Subscribe to the channel if you think China is making perceivers. See you in the next video. Till then, take care and goodbye.